Welcome back to our summer series, Hands-on History with the Brenham Heritage Museum. Today we are here in downtown Brenham in the Arts District, and we are going to do a few drawing activities. We have these colorful murals behind us that we're going to be working with, but you can do these drawing activities anywhere. You can do them at home, you can do them someplace that you like to visit, a park. You can look at a historical building, like you could come downtown and look at some of the wonderful buildings in the square. But today we're going to be looking at the murals, and we're going to do 3 sketching activities that anyone can do. Anyone of any age, any background. You do not need to have an artistic background, or you don't need to be a master artist to do these. These are what I like to call visual note-taking exercises. So if you think about taking notes about something in class, or if you think about just jotting down what you want to remember, that's what we're going to do with these drawing activities. So we have a few volunteers joining us this morning. We have Roger, who's 5, and we have his grandmother, Nina, and we did our first activity together, and now we're going to tell you about it. So this is an activity that I call color mapping, and in this activity we are going to look at something that's very colorful. We are here in downtown Brenham with these beautiful murals, and these are the colorful inspiration for our drawings, but you can use anything that you have at home, any environment, your backyard. You're just looking for something that you can identify multiple colors. And then when you make your drawing, you're not trying to draw exactly what you see. So with this mural behind us, we were not trying to draw the birds and the flower perfectly. What we were trying to do is just map out what colors the artist used. And I think when you get started with this, you'll find it's a really fun activity that really gets your brain working, it gets your eyes working, you're looking up at your inspiration and looking back down at your page. And the materials that we used this morning are just white drawing paper, and we used color pencils, but you can use anything. You could use crayons, you could even use pens. If you have 3 different colors of pens, you could use markers. So use anything that you have around the house. And then what you want to do is just with some scribbly lines, whichever lines you feel most comfortable with, is to map out all of the colors that you see. So I saw there were a lot of blues and greens on the outside, a lot of reds and yellows on the inside. And then if our volunteers want to share their drawings, you can see that we all mapped out the colors, so they are somewhat similar, but we all did it in our own way. So Roger, do you want to show your drawing? Lovely.
Isn't that good?
Very nice. And Nina, what do you got?
This is mine.
And what did you guys think about this activity?
This was very fun. I was a little worried. I thought we were going to have to draw, but it was much better. I love this.
I was worried that I was not going to stop.
That's a great sign. We love that.
It was fun. We didn't want to stop.
So do as many of these color mapping drawings as you like, and send them to us and tell us where you were, what you drew, what you thought about it. We can't wait to see what you create. For this next drawing activity, we moved to look at a new mural here in downtown Brenham. And again, you can look at anything that inspires you. You can look at small objects, you can look at big scenes, you can look at your backyard. And this is a very quick drawing activity that I call a scribble sketch. And what you want to do is let your hand scribble across the page. So you're not trying to draw exactly what you see. You're just trying to scribble out the main shapes, the main forms, And I like to almost say, on your mark, get set, go. And let your hand just start flying across the page. We sometimes call this expressive mark making because your hand is so expressive as it makes those marks across the page. And so we looked at a mural here in downtown Brenham with a woman and a pink bear, and we made our scribble sketches. And so we can each talk about these. I also like to encourage you to try and fill up your entire page with scribbles. And this only took us a few seconds, so you might challenge yourself to make 5 scribble sketches. And so maybe you do a scribble sketch and then you look at something else and do a scribble sketch. But the main thing with this activity is just to move fast. Don't try and make it perfect. Just let your hand and your eye exercise moving across the page and mapping out these big forms and shapes and lines. So here's my scribble sketch, and I know our volunteers are going to show us their scribble sketches. So for our last drawing exercise, we decided to try something a little bit different and look at this really interesting wall of doors behind me here. So I think this is a good example of how if you don't want to go travel somewhere to look at a mural, you really can use anything for any of these drawing activities. And we thought these doors were so fun to look at here. So this third activity is called, or it's what I like to call, a don't look down drawing. And what you're trying to do is draw what you see without looking down at your paper. Now, if you need to look down every once in a while, like what I did was start just by drawing the doors without looking down, and then I decided to change the color I was using and look at these interesting arches. And so I looked down maybe once just to get my hand back on the page, but you want to try maybe 98% of the time to not look down at your drawing. So your drawing is going to look very, what we call, abstract. Our drawings don't look like a photograph of this wall. What we're really trying to do is just get those shapes, get those lines, and let our eye practice moving through this scene here. So we're going to show you our drawing. So I decided to use marker for mine. And again, you could use anything. You don't have to use color for this. You could just use pencil or pen, crayons, colored pencils, anything will work. So here's mine. You can see I tried to get the lines of the doors and the curves of the arches and even these little traffic cones over here, these little orange shapes. So I had a lot of fun doing this drawing. What did you think, Nina?
I thought it was a lot of fun. Mine, I just used pencil, and I looked down once because I like those arches, and so I did my doors, and then I did my arches, and then I just was trying to do detail, and I didn't look down. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that, and it looks, to me, when I looked down finally, I thought, oh, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It looks great. And so this is another one that moves fairly quickly. So again, you might try and do this once or twice. You may try and move and look at something new. But the most fun part of this exercise is just try not to look down in your don't look down drawings.